Our final speaker helps people tell their stories online, and she has this really provocatively titled blog called The Naked Redhead. Please meet Sarah Storer.
It's gonna be hard for me. I like to move around, but I'm not gonna. My name is Sarah J. Storer, and I'm addicted to understanding my own crazy. I began my blog, The Naked Redhead, in 2008 as a way to soul puke onto the web. I wanted a place where I could share my thoughts, feelings, and actions, and then share what I found in a real and relatable way to a couple 100,000 of my closest friends. And while I've shared pretty much everything when it comes to my love life, I found myself going through a breakup last year that challenged the notion of who I thought I was. Now, it's not as if I'm any stranger to the end of a relationship. I've been divorced. I was rejected multiple times in high school. I had several imaginary relationships that ended poorly. But I couldn't understand why, with this particular breakup, I was doing crazy things and yet feeling like they were completely rational. Like, oh, I don't know, writing him crazy love letters while I snotted down the front of my shirt, or being totally convinced that we were boning as just friends. Yeah, that was happening. Yeah. But I couldn't understand why I and other people I know, not being that kind of person by nature, why I was doing kind of these crazy things. So I started to do a little bit of research. And sure enough, I discovered that there are indeed physical processes related to grief that prove that there are more to breakups than just the insatiable need to make questionable decisions with our pants parts. So without further ado, here is the anatomy of a breakup. First, we have to understand that love begins in the brain and not in the heart. Dr. Arthur Aaron, an expert in interpersonal relationships and love, says that intense, passionate love uses the same system of the brain that gets activated when someone is addicted to drugs. So, pretty much falling in love isn't all that different than getting your meth on. Yeah. So, if love begins in the brain leads the charge through the grieving process when love ends. Scientists discovered that when they had subjects who had recently been rejected and they put them in an fMRI machine and then showed them a picture of their ex, the parts of the brain associated with cocaine and nicotine addiction lit up like a damn Christmas tree. They also found activity in the parts of the brain associated with deep emotional attachment and physical pain. Which leads me to my next point. We have distinctly chemical and physical reactions when it comes to breakups that can literally influence our behavior. So when we go through an emotionally traumatic experience, 3 chemicals are released and go all apeshit in our bodies. Adrenaline, noradrenaline, and that asshole, cortisol. These stress chemicals are responsible for the literal pain in the heart and chest you feel at the end of a breakup, and in some cases can completely stun the heart muscle. This condition is called stress cardiomyopathy or broken heart syndrome. It can feel like a heart attack and can be as dangerous as a heart attack, though fortunately, it is usually reversible. Physical pain brought on by emotional trauma is so real, in fact, they are discovering that Tylenol can actually help to take the edge off. Other physical manifestations of emotional pain, as demonstrated by this broad-shouldered, genderless person pictured, right about here, include lethargy, loss of appetite, and crying in public. But not only do these chemicals bring us physical pain, they can also make us have obsessive behaviors, like sending yet another email that explains all the feelings, or stalking one's ex on social media. That's fun. These thoughts and actions are partly due to the part of our brain that is having a fight or flight response, and partly due to the part that is quite literally going through detox and withdrawal. Now, when I discovered these things about my body, I was really relieved. It was really great to discover that my crazy had a scientific explanation behind it. It also led me to discover that there are real and actionable steps that we can take to get through a breakup with some amount of dignity. Here are the Naked Redhead's 3 steps to cure a broken heart. Step number 1. Face your grief and take time to get through your pain, or as I like to say, go the fuck through the 5 stages of grief. Realize that the immediate pain and grief that you're feeling is largely out of your control, and you're gonna go through several stages to get through it, sometimes all at once, so take a moment or 7 to get it out. And of course, if you find that your grief is prolonged and it's lasting for more than a few weeks, go ahead and seek some professional help. Step number 2, get up and get out. Experts across the board say that creating new positive experiences is the key to curing a broken heart. So take off those sweatpants, get out, do some yoga, try new things, and I don't know, go eat, pray, love some shit. And above all, stop stalking your ex's pictures on Facebook, which leads me to step number 3. Pretend your ex is dead for just a minute, okay? Remember, your brain thinks it's literally getting over an addictive substance, so cut them off on Facebook and on your phone and just go through a generous period of no contact. But as much as I'd like to stand here and say that the science behind your grief can help you get through any and all future breakups, especially if you wrap it up in a nice little 3-step how-to, I also know that science can't explain everything about loss and your grief. In fact, what I've learned mostly about breakups is that it has far less to do with the physiology of the brain and far more to do with the physiology of the soul. Grief can be a catalyst in shaping and designing who we are and can mold us in being better people than we were before if only we have the courage to face it and feel it and let it. We can look at our heartache and we can say, I'm going to harden myself and I will never be vulnerable again. Or we can have the courage to say, I am broken and shattered, but I will pick myself up and I will put myself back together to be better than before. And of course, that's all hard to say in the midst of watching The Notebook for the 10,000th time, but you will get there. And one day, you'll realize that, hey, you're healed, the scars are a little less noticeable, and you won't so much want to vomit at the thought of doing it all again with someone else. And that, friends, is the real anatomy of a breakup.
That was the Naked Redhead. Sarah Storer.